Welcome to another video from the farm. Spring has finally sprung here, so it's time to begin building our market garden once again. So in our last video we did our potatoes in pots here. Well, started them anyway, we're still waiting for some to arrive. We also put in this rabbit proofing to protect our raspberry beds. So to get our market garden going properly, we need to put in the rest of our potatoes. And just here we've got a big area where we're going to put in lots more beds, and then over here we're going to put in lots more beds as well, as we've got this giant pile of compost to use. First job I'm going to do is we're going to rake over all the tops of this bed here and see how easily the weeds come out with a rake, and then give it a top up weeding by hand, and then add some more compost to it. So this is meant to be a rake for stone really, but we'll give it a go, see what happens. We've also got these bale strings to remove. Fortunately, pretty easy. Nope, rake's not going to work. Right, new plan. Pull the majority of these out as I can by hand, and then I'm simply going to give this quick once over with a rake, level it out a bit, and then I'm just going to throw 10-15 centimeters of compost on top of here. That should kill any of these off. And we've got this one mostly picked over, majority of the weeds out, got it raked, just a layer of compost left to go on it and it's ready to go. And for this bed then, I'm going to go over it quickly, retrieve all of the little garlic plants that are coming up all over it, from the remnants of the ones that got destroyed by rabbits last year, and then we'll put them in a little tray or something to save them, rake all this over the same as the other one, and then try and replant some of them, I guess. That's one. And just dug a couple of them out, getting quite a few. I'm going to stick to all the ones like this. Bosh, look at that. One movement. Two little garlics. So as well as a small area left in here to knock beds up in, we've got this large area here. Now in all of this, for the rest of it, we're going to put no dig beds in, as we've got ridiculous amounts of compost and quite a big open space. As I've mentioned before in a previous video, we got this compost last year so we can let it settle out a bit. You always get compost straight from a source. It's generally still a little bit bioactive, so it kicks out a lot of heat and it stays really dry. As you can see, it's dry on the top here, but it's wet on the inside. When we first had it, it was dry like that pretty much all the way through when you dug into it. So now it's retaining moisture nicely, we can make all our beds out of it. So we're going to fill this area with no dig beds. And to do that, it's pretty simple. We just need cardboard and compost. So this is the cardboard we're going to be using. I've gone and got myself a 75-metre roll that's almost a metre wide. In my opinion, it's much better just to get a roll of cardboard like this rather than trying to collect up loads of scrap cardboard from things, because inevitably when you use scrap cardboard, it's going to come with plastic in the form of sellotape or in labels or something, whereas this one, as you can see, it's just a bit of brown tape there. That's it. The rest of it's just pure cardboard. so we won't be putting any excess plastic in the ground. Boom, so you can see it's all battered down there, and it will give us room for an extra row. I'm going to take this fence out. I'm not overly worried about wasting compost here, as I've just ripped it out and not really shook it off properly. And that's because it's only going in a compost windrow anyway, so all of these nutrients are just going to end up straight back in fresh compost for us to put on at a later date. So we're going to start our no dig beds over here in this patch we've got. It's pretty easy to do. You can do it anywhere basically. You just need to throw yourself some cardboard down on whatever surface you've got. Preferably you're throwing it down on something like this, like a grass. If you've got any clumps of tall grass like this, pretty easy to get rid of. These are what are going to cause a bit of growth through if you haven't got it trimmed right back to the stump. But other than that, and maybe a little bit of prep work if you wanted to go ahead and mow it first. Ours is low enough that I don't think it'll really need it, apart from those patches over there. I'm actually going to leave them as a little test to see what happens, see if they grow through these beds. So to start with, we're going to roll out this cardboard. Because it's a bit windy, I'm going to get a barrow of compost ready just to dump straight on the end to weigh it down. So, I don't know if you can tell from this angle, but this is corrugated and it's smooth on the other side. So I'm putting it corrugated side up, so we've got the most surface area for water to absorb into. So we've got the first piece of cardboard down in the rough bed area. Now, as I said, these are 75 centimetres wide, which is ideal because that's exactly the right width of the beds we want to have, basically. So we can plant pretty much 4 wide of most varieties of things we'll be putting in here. So if you can see that lump there, squash it down a tiny bit. That's about the right depth of soil, compost, we want over this entire piece of cardboard. So we've got to build it up at least 15 centimetres. The thicker the better, really. It doesn't matter if you go too deep. There's no too deep. But there is a too shallow. So we definitely don't want to be getting too close to the edge and dropping down in depth. So for this no dig method to work properly, we're going to need at least 15 centimetres or so of compost on top of our cardboard. Now, when I've done it before, I did it with beds that were almost half a metre deep, and it worked exceedingly well. So I would say there is no limit to how deep to make your compost. It just has the lower limit of being about 15 centimetres is what you need. So when we get closer to the edges, we're obviously going to have to try and bank it up a little bit for now. Because in between our rows, we're going to put lots of wood chip down to an equal or slightly deeper depth to start with, probably slightly deeper, so when we're walking along it, we actually press it down and compact it into a nice layer to prevent weeds coming up in between the rows. Gosh, first one's done. A few little spots like here where we're only sort of, what's that, 7-8 centimetres deep. We've got a little bit of filling up to do on this edge. You see, like this corner here, I don't know if you can tell, but it's a little bit lower. A few little patches like that to fill in, but yeah, basically there. So I'm going to leave about a 30 centimetre gap between the rows. Let's crack on. So we've got 4 beds in. Happy days. They all look pretty good. A little bit of topping up to do along some of the edges, and then obviously we've got to put our wood chips in. I was considering filling them right up to the end against this bed, but I thought it's probably best if we've got access all the way around them. So then we'll just do a quick bit of tidying up, and then that's it for today. We've got the whole other section over there to do tomorrow. So if you're interested in seeing another video on this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And also, if you enjoyed it, give it a like. So I hope you enjoyed this video on starting a no-dig market garden. Until next time, bye-bye.